What's up, YouTube? I'm Dan.
I'm Leo.
Today we're reviewing
The Nintendo Switch! I wanted the Nintendo Switch because the controllers can come off, and you can put them on this so they're a controller, and you can put them on this so they're two separate controllers. And I also liked how it had all my favorite games on it. I would want this more than Xbox or PlayStation because it's more portable, and you can hook it up to your TV, so it's so you can have play on it, and so you can use it as a gaming console and a gaming system, like an Xbox, like a 2DS or an Xbox. It's like that mushed together.
My first impressions of the Switch were kind of cool. I like the idea that you can dock it and have a conventional gaming system, similar that we're accustomed to with the Xbox, PlayStation, etc. At the same time, I like the portability of it. You're not tied down to your TV. If your parents, friends, cousins, whoever want to use the TV, you can undock this and go on your merry way and play solo. I also wasn't sure how I felt about having to take off the controllers. I mean, it's a good idea, but I thought you had to use them independently on their own and just play like this, and everybody's used to playing like this. Then I found out this comes with. So when these slide off, you put them in here, and then you have a controller that you're used to using. So all in all, my first impressions, pretty cool.
My favorite things about the Switch is that it can come off and put on this controller and these things to make a separate controller. I also liked how it's like a gaming console, like you said earlier, an Xbox and a 2DS. And I also like how right here, you have the charger, you put on here for it's working, you got the charger. I like how you charge it. That's about it.
The things I like most about it, I already kind of mentioned. I like the portability. I like that somebody can already be watching TV. You can take this out and play it, take it on the road. Nice screen, controller options. I mean, all in all, I'm not overly impressed. It's a nifty little item. If you're a gamer and you like simple games, and just a neat little toy.
The things that I don't like about the Nintendo Switch are that when you go on a different game, it's either switches this part, so you have to hold it like this or this. I also don't like how small, when you take it off, I don't like how small it is. I mean it's comfortable, it's just like this. It's just small. Those are my thoughts on what I don't like about the Nintendo Switch.
Things that I don't like about the Switch are very similar to Liam's. I like the idea that the controllers come off. What I don't like is what Liam was saying, is that depending on what game or what app you're using, sometimes you have to use this controller, sometimes you have to use this controller. They're kind of tricky to get off. There, not too bad. So yeah, sometimes depending on what you're playing, you have to use this one, sometimes you use this one. Sometimes you're holding them like this, you're trying to figure out. Some games you have to turn them this way, some games they want to turn this way. It just depends on what you're doing. Also, it has the size and feel of an Amazon Fire Stick. It's real small. I guess it's great for little kids, but if you're an adult trying to play this, or a teenager, you can, but it's just kind of awkward. And then these are your right and left top buttons right here, and to make them more, remote control-ish, if you will, you gotta attach this little adapter, and then you can press the buttons from there. So it's kind of a lot of pieces in a way. I worry about how the battery's gonna last. Batteries eventually go bad, and when they do, it's not like they have double and triple A's you can replace on here. They self-charge, which is cool, but I wonder a year or two from now how good these batteries are gonna last, and then what? Do you have to buy a whole new controller? Do you replace batteries? Not really sure. Also, clearly, these things are such a pain to try to get off. You're gonna bend a fingernail or two. There, finally. Really a pain. There's a little white lever you gotta get just right, and it falls back in on its own and it locks it in place. You gotta kind of hold that lever up and slide it off. It's kind of obnoxious, and you gotta make sure you don't lose these too. I mean, they're not absolutely necessary because you can press these, but they're kind of annoying. Another thing that I like and don't like about it, I already said I like that it's portable and you can take it away. But what I don't like about it is if you have multiple kids and you only have one Nintendo Switch, let the fighting begin, because they're going to be fighting over it. There's really no way around that, but I guess just have one kid. I mean, that's really it. None of the drawbacks are huge. It's not bad. It's just a little annoying, I guess is the word. Little quirks about it are annoying. Oh, and before I forget, one other thing I really am not a fan of. There's very few apps. There's no playing online against, well, people online. There's no Netflix. There's no YouTube. There's Hulu. But that's really about it. And you're also limited to how many games you have. Well, I mean, all systems are limited, but this is really limited. And it's more geared towards smaller kids. I really don't like, it'd be really cool if you could sit, and just touch and put on Netflix and watch something on here, or YouTube, or like I said, whatever, or even a web browser, but there's none of that. It's pretty basic. But other than that, there's nothing that I hate. It's just little annoyances about this thing.
I give it 1.5 thumbs up.
Those aren't thumbs.
I give it 1.5.
Would I recommend it to somebody? Sure, under the right circumstances. I would recommend it for somebody who likes playing games that are geared towards kids, or younger kids who just like playing games. Somebody maybe who travels or has long car rides, things like that. It's fantastic. In my personal opinion, if you already have a gaming console that you're happy with, for this price point, I think it retails about $300 for just the basics. The games are about $60 a piece. I don't see the value in it. If it had online gaming, if it had streaming options, better streaming options, if it came with a second controller, I'd be a little happier. Oh, no, is it bad? No. Would I recommend it? I would recommend something else first. But if it checks all your boxes for what you really think you need, and you do your homework, and you're willing to shell out the $300 for this little guy, then sure. If it fits your budget, it checks all those other boxes, I'd recommend it. Other than that, I wouldn't go out and start telling everybody, you have to get the Nintendo Switch, you have to get the Nintendo Switch. It's just, like I started out the video with, it's just, it's okay.